Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. Welcome back to Halloween Horror Month. And today we're going to talk about the movie Fresh from 2023. This is another one I heard about, could watch now that I have Hulu. Or I have Disney Plus, but Hulu's with it, I guess. Yeah, so I can finally check this out. So yeah, I heard a lot of things about this when it was coming out. So I was very confused when I started watching this, and I'm like, this is supposed to be a horror movie, right? It's very much a rom com, and then 33 minutes in, it becomes a horror movie. Yes, it becomes a thriller, but I'm counting it. Okay, so in the horror section, I count it. Dead Meat did a kill count, so it counts. Okay, damn it. I mean, I would also technically mean the Jurassic Park counts, but I don't count it as a horror movie. He says it's horror adjacent, but he did it just because he likes dinosaurs. Anyway, so this tells the story of Noah, played by Daisy Edgar Jones, who is into the dating world and not doing very well. Talk about her first date in a minute. Guy deserves to go fuck himself. But anyway, I digress. I digest. But she meets Steve. You and me and me and you and your friend Steve. I do Steve. Do Steve. And he's the Winter Soldier. It is Sebastian Stan. Yes. And they seem to have a nice little relationship, and then the switch flips. Everything goes downhill. And it turns out he's a psychopath. Well, we'll get to it as we go, but it turns out he's not so good person. Anyways, so we start off, honestly, with this horrible date with this guy named Chad. Of course his name is Chad. And he is this rudest motherfucker. Because, she's set up on a dating app, and one of the first things he said is, they don't take credit, which means they only take cash where they're going, which means he's intending for her to pay, at least for her food, which is not... Fellas, grab you right, not make it less one jealous. No. If you are going on a date with a woman, you pay for them, okay? It's a date. You pay for them. You don't just say, hey, we're going to go out somewhere, I'll pay for mine, you pay for yours. 50-50 split. No. You also do not go Dutch. You don't say, hey, we'll just put the thing together and we'll each pay half. That's still technically they're paying for their food. So, no. If you are going on a date, then you are going to pay for the food, gentlemen. Okay? That's what you do. That's why you're a gentleman. This guy's a douche. And he freaks out about his scarf getting in his precious food. And the dude doesn't even wait for her to finish her food. He says, oh, I need the leftovers because there's a family get together I'm having this weekend. And she was clearly not done eating her food, but he takes it anyway. Right. And then she's expected to pay for her food. And then he's like, all up. And then he has the nerve to try to go over a kiss. And when she rebuffs him, he's like, well, good luck finding a date, you stuck-up bitch. Dude, don't be an asshole, and you might actually get some. Okay? You gotta be nice to the ladies. Or, it could end, hey, it could have gotten worse. At least she didn't end up she didn't end up giving you a kick in the balls. Okay? No kicking in the nuts. No, he just walks off, and I'm just like, this dude. Turns out he's probably not the worst guy that she meets in this, but yeah, she's at a gym with her friend Molly. I don't know, and they're talking about Beauty and the Beast for some reason, and then she goes to the grocery store, where she meets Steve, and they talk about, I didn't know this was a thing. Cotton candy grapes? Is that for real? Or is that certain, I know green ones, red ones and purple ones. That's it. That's what I know. I don't know what cotton candy is, cotton candy grapes, but they're like talking. I like how he's like, he's like, Do you live around here? I live in aisle 38. You know, he's smooth with the ladies so much that he's like, hey, you know, can I get your number? I had to talk to my nieces, and I want to make sure the story has a positive ending or something like that. So I just want to point out this, and it's not a negative thing. Sebastian Stan is in his 40s, and she was 23 when she made this. She's 27 now. That means she was 23, turning 24 that year. Depending on when she turned 24, because she's 27 now, but sometime the year they made this. Maybe she wasn't 23 yet, or maybe she wasn't 24 yet, she was going to. The way that math adds up, right? Anyway, yeah. And she eventually ends up asking her out. I like how Molly's the one that asked all the weird questions, like, "Oh, you just met this guy. You're gonna go out and how do you know he's not some kind of weirdo?" Blah blah blah. And then even later when she says, "Well, he has a surprise. He's gonna take me somewhere." Well, that's really sus. What do you mean a surprise? He ain't telling you where we're going. Where you going? She's the smartest person in this damn movie, right? Right? Just saying. So anyway, they go on a date. They have a very good time. And on the first date, not only does she invite him back to her apartment and they kind of kiss, and it looks like he's like, no, I don't. You need to slow down. And it changes his mind. She's like, can you get anything to eat or drink? And he goes, no, just you. Fellas, don't ever use that line. It's not gonna work. Unless the girl you're dating with is, the town slut. She might go for it. Those kind of women. But most women are going to be like, okay, that's just cheesy. Or you might get a nice, but no. Or nice try. No. And I know it actually speaks to his motives later. We'll get to that. But it works on her, and they go to Pound Town. Wake up the next morning, she sneaks a pic, which is important, plot point. She sends it to Molly and barely gets a picture, all swoosh, right? But yeah. So then they date for a little while, and they decide to go on this trip, and he's planning this whole thing. It's a surprise, which, yeah, Molly's right. It's kind of sus. Especially when he shows up to pick her up and he goes, hey, traffic's going to be bad, so I figured we'll stay at my place for now, and then first thing in the morning we'll go. I'm like, okay, what's tomorrow how's tomorrow any better? I don't know. I just, automatically I'm just like, yeah. So, yeah. So they go to his place, and they have a romantic evening, and then he's like, you try to guess what's in the drink. And so he gives it drink. The whole thing about it. And she's like, she makes the guess. He's like, no. She's like, nectarine. He's like, yeah, nectarine. And then the vision starts to get wibbly wobbly, and even the visuals for us are getting wibbly wobbly. He's like, what are you doing so far? Come over here. She gets up and then, yep, she's been drugged. And then it takes her a while to figure it out too. She wakes up. He's sitting there in a turtleneck for some reason, and he's like, hey. And she's like, hey, what happened? He's like, sorry, my stutter's messing up. She's like, what happened? He goes, damn it. She's like, what happened? He goes, I drugged you. And she realizes what's going on. She wants to let out. No. And he tries to kind of tell her what he does. It turns out he likes to sell human meat on the black market. But only women. Only female meat. I guess that's what they go for. You think, and I'm not trying to be, you think that male meat, and not that kind of male meat, but like meat off men would be thicker. But I'm not saying that the women would have tasty meat. I'm not gonna try that. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know. You think men are built more to be? I don't know. It's just weird that it's only women meat, female meat. Uh, she tries to escape, but that doesn't work. So he, in his words, he takes her ass. Literally, he takes the meat off her ass, which she doesn't have an ass. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But I saw that, and it's a little flat. You get more meat off my ass. You get lots of meat off my ass. Come on. I'll be grade A beef right here, man. No, you're pork. Pork. Shut up. Come on. He get more meat off his own ass. She's a petite little thing, which is also weird. Why he's not going for the bigger women? Why he went for such, like, even like the other women we see are fit women. Not, you think he would go for heavier women if he wants to meet. Maybe he explains it. I don't know. When she has, they have a dinner scene later that I just kind of. That's all it haze for me. I don't know. It's weird. I don't want to hear him talk about how human meat tastes, so I blocked that out. Okay. Anyway, after a while, Molly, she gets a little concerned and tries to call. I do want to point out that it's important. Unless he was blocking it, when she gets there, she says that she doesn't have any service. And he says, oh, that's weird. The Wi-Fi is not. So, unless it's a different place that they're at there and he moved him to somewhere else. It seems like it's the same place, though. He moved her somewhere else. I don't know. Unless he has a Wi-Fi blocker and turned it back on. Because, like, there's no service. You can't call anyone, right? I'm just saying. It's important. Molly talks to her friend who is the bartender who served them. And he's like, well, maybe you're, typical male response. Maybe you're overthinking things. And, she's like, no, I need your help. And they eventually track her down. And this is where she's the smartest person in this movie until they have to write it to be stupid, because this was stupid. She shows up, and it turns out his real name is Brendan, and he's got a wife. Yeah. And, so she, like, confronts him about it. He's like, no, you have the wrong person. So, obviously, something's going on. But someone was texting her from Noah's phone. So, the smart thing to do would be get in your car, drive like you're going to leave, but drive around the corner, then call her phone. Right? Or drive to where you think, I know she wants to be able to confront the guy, but you don't know what else is going on here. You don't know the whole story. You don't know if maybe the wife's in on it, which she is, because when she calls, and by the way, the ringtone is Golden Girls theme song. Because by the way, if she calls, he'd figure out, oh, she knows something, and he'd go outside and look. And if she's from a distance, she can see it, and then she can call the fucking cops. And be like, hey, my friend has been kidnapped by this guy named Brendan, and he lives at this address. Boom, bada boom. Sure, they could cover something up, whatever, but I don't know. And of course, even if they did do this, the movie would have to write it where they wouldn't find him, because that's, the plot can't end that way. So yeah, Molly gets caught and she gets thrown down there because the wife is in on it. And we find out that the wife might have also been one of his former victims, as she has one leg. So yeah. So uh, Noah gets smart and decides, well, I'm gonna seduce this guy, and I'm gonna make him think that I'd be like the Florence Nightingale thing. You know, Florence Nightingale disease or whatever it's called, or Florence Nightingale, whatever it is, where the person who is captured falls in love with the captor, kind of thing. Which is probably what happened with his wife. So she starts. It works. They talk about, they have a dinner. He makes this spaghetti and a meatball. Now I know this is human meat, but that's serving. Especially if you think you wanna. I don't know. I don't know. It's a small serving, and I get it. She's a small person, but I don't know. But as soon as she gets down there and Steve is clear, or Brendan is clear, she pukes it back out again, and yeah, there's two. There's another person there named Penny, and then she talks about a new girl. So when they go up and he's showing her all his little things, his little uh, um, souvenirs he got from these other women, she sees Molly's phone, which, yeah, I don't know why he would leave that out in the open. I know they're part of his tokens or whatever, but yeah, she seduces him. They get close together, and they get like, especially when she finds out that she was the only one that he ever had sex with, or at least, unless his wife is also a victim. We never learn enough about her. Anyway, so she seduces him, and it looks like she's gonna go down on him, and then, well, chomp chomp. She wanted to eat some man meat, and not in a sexy way. You even see it. She go like that, and the next thing you know, she come back up with blood all over her face. She bit his Coco Jumbo. Yes. He's like, ah. And then she's able to. He is distracted enough for her to get out of there, go rescue Penny, who has only one leg, I think, and then rescue Molly. And then he was no way to get her out. They all escape into the woods where they have a fight. This is where it might piss some people off, and it did frustrate me, especially after learning why they did this. Because bartender guy gets concerned for Molly. At this point, he has made it to the house, right? So it's the same place, I guess. And when Steve fires off a gunshot, he hears it and is like, nope, and takes off. Yeah, some would say he's also smart. However, you are there to make sure that your friends are okay, because you haven't heard of your one friend looking for her friend. So you're there to make sure, and then you hear gunshot and like, no, fuck this, I'm out of here. It's made even worse by the fact that the female director, and I don't say that negatively, I'm just putting it out there, female director didn't want a man to be the one to save the day. He wanted them to save themselves. Cool. Don't have him show up then. Because there's no point in his story of trying to find them if he's just going to run away. And I know it's a logic thing where it's like, well, he'd be looking for her. Sure. Then the way for him to do that is for them to save themselves. But he pulls up just in time as a getaway car. That's good enough. They still saved themselves. They took care of the bad guys. He just shows up with a vehicle. Like TS motherfucking A from Get Out. Rod from TSA, he didn't do anything. He just showed up and gave him a car ride out of here. It could be the same thing. And he's not really, and he wouldn't be physically doing anything to help them. He'd just give him a car ride. That's all you need to do, because what happens here is he takes off. They kill Brendan, and then the wife shows up and tells his goon with the ponytail, or her goon with the ponytail, hey, prepare his meat for sale. And I'm like, wait, I thought you said he only sold female meat. Why isn't there? you think, oh, so she's gonna take over now. Well, not really, because she gets killed too. She pretends to be another victim, just another victim, and then attacks Noah. But Molly saves the day and fucking kills her. And then the three of them hobble off. And then we get a post-credit scene of, that's how the movie ends. And we don't see what happens to them afterwards. We don't see how they adjust. No, that's just it. The post-credit scene reveals that the clientele that Steve had are getting ready to feast on some very bloody-looking meat. They didn't cook it properly or something. I don't know. Maybe that's pre-cooking it. I don't know. Maybe it was raw. Actually, I think it was raw. Yeah, who's going to run it now if both of them are dead? But, yeah, all you need to do, like, he could show up just... Will you shut the fuck up? Be like the lady from Friday the 13th Part 5. Shut the fuck up and eat your stew. We'll wait. The fuck is that anyway? People are talking in a hallway. Come on! Thank you. So all they need to do is after they kill Steve, or Brendan, whatever his name is, and then they kill the wife, they start hobbling out. Then he pulls up. Hey, y'all need a ride? And he could have her Molly quip, well, better late than fucking never. Or it's about damn time, or something like that. What the hell took you so long? Something like that. You know? Ain't nothing wrong with him giving them a ride out of there. He wouldn't have actually fought or anything. He just shows up late. Let him be late. It's a fault. Guys have faults. Right? I'm just saying, you don't need him to be totally useless because his whole subplot of him trying to find Molly goes absolutely nowhere because you didn't want him to save them. Okay. I gave you an example, so... Yeah, I thought it was alright. I'll give it a high, middle of the road. It was good. I was thrown off by the first half because I was like, I was told this was a horror movie. It was all over my horror group. Then I'm in Sinister Cinema. I'm like, I was told this was a horror movie and this is like a romantic comedy, but not so. It's not like Hard Eyes was a romantic comedy. This is half a romantic comedy and the other half goes into horror thriller territory. So it's one of those things. It's kind of like if you think of From Dusk Till Dawn, where the first part is this gritty crime thriller, and then boom! Don't tell me there's no such thing as vampires, because I don't believe in vampires, and what I saw is fucking vampires. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, what are your thoughts on Fresh? Leave comments, you should like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I just realized it's way up too much. Thank you for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.